Good evening, everybody. It's 5:30. I'd like to welcome everybody here, but before we call the meeting to order, Reverend Aaron Catilla is from Trinity Lutheran Church, going to open us with a word of prayer, and then we'll have flag salute and then carry on.
Please rise. Let us pray. Gracious God, Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for another day of your grace. Grace through the crucified and risen Lord Jesus Christ. And by your Spirit, guide us this evening and bless this meeting, that all the things that we do would bring glory to your name, but also for the good of our neighbor, that we may live peaceable lives and in places that are safe and secure. Bless this town and its leadership, and guide them this evening, and guide the people of this community as we are a community living together, loving each other each and every day. Make it so among us, O Lord. We pray in your name. Amen.
Join with me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now 5:32, and I call the El Reno City Council regular meeting of Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 to order. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Here. Councilwoman Brothers. Here. Vice Mayor Black.
Here.
Councilman Schaefer.
Here.
Mayor Jensen.
Here. We've got some awards and proclamations to give out. A recognition and appreciation of Fire Captain Jody Mutzig for dedicated service to the city of El Reno from May 2001 to May 2026, 25 years. And I think Chief Duff has something to present.
Jody, you want to have something to reflect the 25 years of service to the city of El Reno. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss your leadership, your knowledge. Don't make yourself scared. So come around. Enjoy your retirement.
We have a proclamation. I'm going to read it. It says, whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of a vital importance to the sustainability and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of El Reno. And these infrastructure facilities services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And on December 17, 2003, President George W. Bush also officially recognized public works as first responders in the Homeland Security Presidential Directive Number 8. Public Works departments carry a level of responsibility that mirrors law enforcement and fire departments although the specific roles in responding vary depending on the nature of the event. Often Public Works personnel are among the first responders during emergencies, disasters, and they are often the last to leave after an incident has taken place to ensure cleanup efforts are complete and safety is restored. And it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of El Reno, Oklahoma to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. This year in 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association. And be it now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Steve Jensen, as mayor of the city of El Reno, Oklahoma, and its citizens, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2026 to be National Public Works Week. And let's give all those who are in public works a big hand. They work hard and oftentimes are, wintertime freezing cold, water lines broke, they're out there all hours of the day and night, along with all of our other first responders, and we appreciate all of those. So, thank you. Yep. So with that, we're going to recess the city council meeting and move into our authority meetings.
All right, it is 5:36. We call the El Reno Air Park Authority regular meeting on this Tuesday, May 12th to order, starting with roll call vote. Trustee Black.
Here.
Trustee Nethery. Here. Trustee Brothers. Here.
Here.
Chairman Schaefer.
Here. Item C, consent agenda. The following items considered to be routine by the El Reno Air Park Authority will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We have 3 items.
Move to approve consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote starting trustee Black.
Yes.
Trustee Nethery. Yes. Trustee Brothers. Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Black. Sorry, you already said it. Chairman Schaefer.
Yes. All right, no items pulled. Discussion items number 4, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments to move forward with the purchase of equipment and set up work of point of presence located at the airport.
Okay, this is,
The outfitting of the telecommunications shelter that's at the airport?
this is the next telecommunication hut for the fiber system, what will also serve as the IT hut for the airport. We have a lot of customers out there in the hangars that want fiber internet service. Plus, we're trying to bring together the airport's telecommunications needs into one location. So this will be for purchasing of the equipment plus the labor to get all that work done.
Great, any questions? And it's an important next step. A lot of customers out there. It's a good look, it's a good service, not just for the airport, but that part of town also. Continue our fiber build out.
I'll make a motion to approve or to move forward with the purchase of equipment and set up work for point of presence.
Motion made.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call vote starting trustee Black.
Yes.
Trustee Nethery. Yes. Trustee Brothers. Yes. Vice Chairman Jensen.
Yes.
Chairman Schaefer.
Yes. Moves us to adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, I don't need to. It is now 5:38, and I call the El Reno Recreational Authority regular meeting of Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 to order. The roll call starting with trustee Schaefer.
Here.
Trustee Nethery. Here. Vice Chairman Brothers. Here. Trustee Jensen.
Here.
Chairman Black.
Here. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We've got items 1 through 3.
Items 1 through 3.
Second.
Motion and second. If we can have a roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen.
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer.
Yes.
Chairman Black.
Yes. Brings us to adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Sorry. Amy.
It's now 5:39, and I call the El Reno Municipal Authority regular meeting Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 to order. Roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Here. Trustee Brothers. Here. Vice Chairman Black.
Here.
Trustee Schaefer.
Here.
Chairman Jensen.
Here. Consent agenda. Following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Municipal Authority will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. And we have items 1 through 5.
Move to approve items 1 through 5.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with trustee Nethery.
Yes.
Trustee Brothers. Yes. Vice Chairman Black.
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer.
Yes.
Chairman Jensen.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Here, I need to vote. Yes, yes.
Okay, now move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. All right. It's now 5:40, and I acknowledge a return to the El Reno City Council meeting. Item D, nomination and appointments. Nomination and appointment of 2 members for a 3-year term set to expire April 2029, and one member for the remainder of a 3-year term set to expire April 2028 to serve on the El Reno Library Board.
Nominate Holly and Becky for the 2-member 3-year terms expiring April 2029.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Sorry. What do you need?
No, I didn't know if
You
you
good?
were doing anything with the appointment. Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Is there any nominations for the one?
I didn't see an application.
Okay, I didn't either. Okay, well, we'll leave that spot open and we'll move on to consent agenda. Item F, following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno City Council and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from consent agenda and considered separately. We have items 1 through 14.
Move to approve items 1 through 14.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Councilman Schaefer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Nothing was pulled. Item H, audience participation. Anyone having an item of business to present to the city council that does not appear on the agenda, please come to the podium at this time, state your name. Your request to limit your presentation to 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to the City of El Reno business. The Oklahoma Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from taking official action on requests made during this portion of the agenda unless otherwise noted on the agenda. Anybody? Seeing nobody, brings us to discussion items. 15A, hold a public hearing regarding the proposed annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. Discussion and development resulting in amendments to the proposed budget may occur. I now declare the public hearing open.
I'll start with a presentation of the budget. And Zach, if you'll cue the PowerPoint for the overhead. I want to start by thanking all of the staff that participated in the building of this budget, which really it touches every department, involves many, many people. Tim Young did an excellent job. He's Assistant City Manager and Finance Director, wears a couple hats. It's going to be a theme throughout this budget presentation. A lot of us wear multiple hats, but Tim has done a great job in preparing the budget so that it can be presented today. Judy Holbrook, Cami Brookshire, Jessica Porter, a lot of hands involved in making this work. It's been a very challenging budget year in building a balanced budget, but we are happy to present what we have. Revenue has not, next slide, please. This is not the right presentation. We'll I'll just keep going. So, I actually don't need the overhead if it's not available, and that's okay. But we've had a successful year. Basically, we projected at the end of last year no revenue growth for this current fiscal year that we're in, and we hit the nail on the head. Unfortunately, we did, right? We were budgeting very conservatively for FY26, and we are right on the money with basically a flat revenue year, which we were hoping for a little bit of growth. We didn't really see that. So moving forward into FY27, we're basically going to be doing the same thing, budgeting a flat revenue year. So we're budgeting $15,480,000 in sales and use tax for FY27. So that's projecting no revenue growth. What we're seeing citywide and over, and you'll see some, I guess you won't see any slides, potentially not. There was, we had a huge uptick in the oil and gas industry in the teens. So this is the last 6 years, it's dropped off. We aren't seeing that revenue. The industry has tapered off, if you will. And so we aren't seeing that from a sales tax collection standpoint, use tax collection. So that's
that's hurt our budget overall. We aren't where we were in 2019. We aren't where we were in 2018. But as everybody in this room knows, the cost of doing business has gone up quite a bit. So that we're not immune to those expense increases and the cost of inflation. So what we have seen, though, is housing growth. In the last several years, we've seen really hundreds of new homes being built, which is amazing that we are attracting new residents to our community. This last fiscal year, we've added 77 new homes. It's a very strong year. Just for a point of reference, in 2013, 14, 15, we're adding somewhere between 15 homes and 30 homes a year. 30 homes would be a good year. This last year, we added 77 homes. So we're adding a lot of families. Those families will be spending money here. We've added new commercial businesses in the last year in the way of restaurants and retail, just to name a few. Freeman's downtown, Taco Mayo has rebuilt. Breaks Plus is under construction. Waffle House will soon be under construction. Seven Brews under construction. There's a lot of things that are in the queue that we'll be adding to our sales tax base. Some of them aren't online yet, but some of them are. But that doesn't quite make up for the revenue loss that we were seeing, or the revenue that we were receiving in the teen years. So we're still not quite back to where we were, and it'll be some time till we are back there. So we are, one thing that we have and we will be capitalizing on this year, it being the Route 66 Centennial year, we have a lot of travelers coming through town. And that's one thing that the state is projecting, 6 to 8 million people traveling 66 through the state of Oklahoma. So we would be silly to not try to capitalize on that in some degree. We are seeing any time of the day, you can go to the filling station, you can go downtown, you can go to Sid's Diner, Robert's Grill, Johnny's, you'll see, or Freeman's, you'll see folks from all over the United States and sometimes all over the world visiting our community and spending money. So tourism dollars are, there's opportunity for that, and I think that we'll see an uptick, continue to see an uptick throughout this year, and certainly we are blessed, truly blessed, to have the most famous highway in the world coming through the heart of our town. Airport activity. We have the Caldwell Collection. Again, that's more tourism, but we are actively building. There we go. Airport, we're actively building a new airport terminal. We also have awarded contracts to build 2 new hangars, which will store additional aircraft. We're at capacity in our hangar spaces at the airport, and so we're seeing additional interest. And Scott told me today that there's our 4 box hangars that aren't built yet are already spoken for. So a tremendous amount of interest in our airport, and so certainly want to continue to invest in that. One common misconception, so airport funds, we're building new box hangars. We've seen a lot of interest from the state of Oklahoma in the way of grant funding given to our community and given to our airport. That's supporting a lot of the development and the construction at the airport, and also the royalty funds that our airport generates from the oil reserves. Another common misconception, we have hotel motel tax, which is generated by visitors of our community that stay in our hotels. Those funds can only be used for certain things. They're restricted funds. They can't be used to fund the library, unfortunately. They can be used to fund tourism activities and economic development. So it's split economic development and tourism. And so we have to be diligent in spending those funds in that way and generating additional folks coming to our town, spending money here. Those dollars can then be they go into the general fund, which then go to fund the fire department. They go to fund the library. They fund streets department, parks department, those types of things. So that's one of the things that we will be leveraging moving forward as much as we can. Next slide. So the good news this year, our sales tax debt service is relatively flat. Last year there was an increase, but this year it's relatively flat. Utility debt service is also flat this year from FY26 to 27. However, it's set to increase in FY '28. And so that's something that we need to be preparing for, and we'll talk about that a little more here in just a second. The overall operations budget for the city of El Reno has increased by about 0.4%. So really trying hard to stick to that flat budget. We've got to be very disciplined in that. Not all the things that we're implementing are fun or things that we necessarily want to do. But one of those things is all of the positions that become vacant throughout the year or are currently vacant will be heavily scrutinized and evaluated. A hiring freeze is what we're proposing as part of this to hold on to what we have. That's not something that we want to do, but it's something that we've dealt with worse in the past. 2020 was a horrible year with revenue, and so we actually had to do citywide layoff. We don't want to have to do that this year, so we're going to start with a hiring freeze. Last thing we want to do is hire some folks into those positions that then later have to be let go. Also, something that we did in 2020 that we're not proposing this year is a furlough for all the city employees. We're not proposing that. But that would be another alternative. Those things are, we want to try to keep what we have and continue to cover all the bases and minimize service disruptions as much as we can. So we have plans for that. We are proposing a merit increase for all of our existing employees. That merit increase equals between 3% and 4% or 4.5%, depending on the department. We want to reward those employees that are with us and for the work that they do, and we want to take care of those that take care of us. So that is included in this year's budget. We will be utilizing about $1.3 million in reserves to present a balanced budget for operations, and that is, Tim, equivalent to what we did this last year as well. So trying to minimize that as much as possible. Again, we are proposing revenue very conservatively. Obviously, we're hopeful that it will trend upward, but we have to plan for what we have to plan for. Next slide. So utility debt service is increasing significantly in FY '28. So that's next fiscal year. This debt service is tied to the construction of our sewer plant. That sewer plant was constructed in 2016 or so, and the utility debt is really going to start ramping up. And so that's some of the last 10 years of that debt service is pretty high, and we need to be preparing for that. So in FY '27, we're proposing a 5% increase to water rates and 7.5% increase to the sewer rates. That'll take effect December 31st, 2026 bill. The trash is set to increase 5%, and that'll be on the July 31st bill. Next slide. So overall, general fund budget, we're proposing a general fund budget of $20,151,900. Municipal authority, $15,934,300 with a $3.2 million transfer to the general fund. Hotel motel tax budget of $787,200 with a $251,000 transfer to the general fund. And then airport authority, $1,766,700 with a $120,000 transfer to the general fund. And then recreational authority, $1,745,900. And so, as you can see, the trend here is going to be propping up the general fund. The general fund pays for fire and police and streets and parks and library and all of those core functions that the city provides. And so, in order to cover all of those bases and minimize any service disruptions, we're transferring, which is not uncommon. There's many cities that are, I'd say most cities operate in this fashion. So, we're transferring in order to cover those expenses. Next slide. We will be moving forward with capital improvements in some areas that are really, we're always doing. Water lines, we have a couple of projects that are going on right now. Broadband, we're going to be expanding continuing to expand the services across town. Airport, already mentioned the hangars that are being constructed, finishing up of our terminal, Downtown streetscape, we likely won't see capital expenditures in this area, but I want to keep this on our radar because it will be coming up. That's a grant through the Transportation Alternatives Program we received through Oklahoma Department of Transportation in the way of about $1.2 million, a little more, but we do have some matches associated with that that'll be transforming, starting our downtown, starting on Rock Island. We have streets improvements. Britain is going to be a heavy focus this year. We want to get that one corrected. And then also Darlington, we have a partnership with the county on Darlington Road. The other thing that we're going to be working on with our streets is our traffic signals. I know that our intersections, we have some dated technology. We need to replace some of our equipment at our intersections to improve efficiency of operations and safety. Animal control and police evidence, those are two facilities we'll be working on. Park improvements, we have slated equipment replacement. We also have basketball improvements at Gadberry Park. And then golf course pump house, our irrigation system at the golf course has met the end of its useful life. I think it met the end of its useful life a few years ago, so we have that slated for replacement as well. So, next slide. Sorry, well, we can go on that slide, but couple other things that we are doing this year. Rather than purchasing outright vehicles, we're starting a vehicle lease program. And then also the Mobility Hub, our hub project, which is heavily funded through the 66 revitalization program will be under construction this year as well and finished. So that's all I got. Tim, take over from there.
Excellent. Okay, so we do have our numbers for the month of May. The good news is, for the first time since October, we met budget for the month. So we'll continue to go monitor everything, but if we'll turn to the next slide, we can look at this in a bar graph form. We can see that the very last column over there is fiscal year monthly average. We are still just a tad below what our target for the year is, so we'll have to go pay attention to see what happens with the month of June. June, historically, at least for the past 5 years, is our lowest month of the year. So again, we'll have to go monitor all that. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we at least meet budget as presented over there. The next slide. This right here shows our trend in sales tax and use tax since fiscal year 2010-2011. And we can see that in the mid 2010s, we definitely had the oil and gas bump that occurred with both sales tax and then a little bit later with use tax. And then starting about the time of COVID and everything else, we just saw the crashes occur, which we also saw oil and gas activity tremendously back off here in the state of Oklahoma. After that crash, sales tax has rebounded some, but it's still not where we want it to be. If we'll turn to the next slide, this right here just shows what happens with inflation in the United States since 2026. We are seeing that there is inflationary pressures on the economy again, but definitely inflation, as you know, weakens the value of our purchasing power just like it does you at home. If you'll turn to the next slide, we adjust all the numbers for inflation. In all reality, we're still projecting this current year and for next year for us to be operating about the same level we were in the 2010-2011 timeframe. However, our costs have definitely gone up during that time. So creates a lot of challenges, and just want to go remind everybody again that we are not the only city that's dealing with this issue over there. Cities all across central Oklahoma reporting that they're having budget challenges because of weak sales tax collections. On the next slide, this right here shows in the general fund how expenditures are allocated by department. And so by far, police and fire followed in third place with the ambulance system, take up a vast majority of all expenditures with the general fund. Public safety is very important to the leadership over here, and we continue to invest in it. Cutbacks have occurred. There's just not a lot to cut back on anymore over there, and we're trying our best not to have to go any further. One thing I do want to point out is if you see with the finance department, that pink over there, that is due to the cost of insurance and credit card processing fees. If you look over there in streets, that pink over there, that is $300,000 a year. It costs us just to keep the street lights on within the neighborhoods, street lighting only. So there are a lot of cost centers that are very hard to touch over there. It's very difficult trying to get this to balance. The next slide shows the same thing in pie chart form. Everybody loves a pie chart. If you just go from the police blue, going clockwise over to the EMS blue over there, that is all public safety. Public safety does take up about 2/3 of all general fund expenditures right there. Next slide. This slide over here just shows the revenue source for the general fund over there, broken out for some previous years. For the current proposed budget, you'll notice at the very top, we got that black and we got that really dark brown up there. That is showing where this year we will be pulling out, we're proposing to pull out of fund balance and also out of reserves to make the general fund balance for the year. Next slide. This slide, just want to go remind everybody of the impending debt service increase we're expecting with the wastewater treatment plant that was completed in 2014. As we can see, that debt service with the municipal authority is going to be almost doubling over the next several years. So we're inching closer, and this is one reason why with the utility authority, we continue to make the increases in utility rates. We either do it now or we're going to have double-digit increases when we get a little bit closer to the debt service coming on board. We're trying our best to try to minimize the impact on our utility customers. On the next slide should be questions. So,
Any questions?
What are the amendments that you passed out? I know that one of them was for the library.
yes, so one of them, yep, so we have one amendment transfers over a little bit of money to go pay for a part-time position at the library to keep the summer. The second amendment creates the in the airport department. Scott does not want to, he's going to try his best to spend $100,000 or get people to spend $100,000 in merchandise, but that was a Scrivener's error that we're correcting with that one.
Any other questions?
Move to approve resolution.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
We're in public hearing. No other questions?
I have one more question. I want to know about the Route 66 events and activities. We've got a very healthy budget for tourism and economic development, and this $50,000 for Route 66 events and activities, are those already scheduled?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we do have some events that will come about that we know of, that it gives a line that we could utilize for that specifically.
Okay.
So it is we're planning we always plan a celebration out on Lake El Reno and Adams Park. If there's something that we wanted to add to that for the July 4th celebration in conjunction with Route 66, we would have a line to do that, but it's not spoken for specifically.
So are the fireworks and things like that, those are not already included in the budget?
Fireworks are included in the budget.
Oh, okay, so this would just be additional if you wanted to do something
That's
extra.
Right. And that would be up to the council to determine how to use that. It could go, it's hotel motel money. It would go back into that fund as fund balance if it's not budgeted and used. It can be budgeted but not used and still stay in the fund balance, so, for the hotel motel.
And also this year's on July 4th is the 250th anniversary or birthday of our country. And depending on what you look at, there's a lot of things being asked of communities to, come together and celebrate our country's independence. So.
We are on a nationwide caravan across the country on 66 also that I know that we were on a call with Lieutenant Governor yesterday, and that event was shared, Reese Martin with the Route 66 Association. So that's going to be, there's going to be a lot of folks, a lot of activities happening throughout the year and into 2027. I think the actual birthday of 66 is November 11th. So, if the council would like to do something on November 11th, that's also Veterans Day, but there could be something in conjunction with that as well. And so there is some funds set aside, if so choose. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Brings us to item 15B, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding approval of resolution number 26-051, a resolution adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year 26-27, ending June 30th, 27, maintaining certain special funds, filing of the adopted budget with intergovernmental agencies and providing for transfer of funds and adopting budget amendments. Any discussion?
Move to approve resolution 26051 along with budget amendment 2701 and 2702.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers.
No.
Vice Mayor Black.
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion passes. Brings us to 16A, to conduct a public hearing to rezone from Rural Agricultural District A1 to Suburban Agricultural District A2 for the property described as a tract of land being part of the north half of the northwest quarter of Section 14, Township 12, Range 7, west of the Indian Meridian of Canadian County, Oklahoma. Emily? Oh,
Applicant,
open the public hearing. Sorry.
the applicant's proposing a lot, to do a lot split, and in order to do so, they'll need to rezone their property from A1 to A2. It met the minimum lot size requirement, it exceeded it actually, but that frontage is about 35 feet short. Everything else is in compliance, and it'll be used for single-family residential. Planning Commission recommended unanimous approval, and I haven't had any opposition to this item, any phone calls or anything.
Okay. Any questions? Y'all want to add anything? No? Any other comments? I declare public hearing closed. All right. Brings us to item B, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding ordinance number 9408, ordinance to rezone from rural agriculture A1 to suburban agriculture A2 for property described as a tract of land being part of the north half of the northwest quarter of Section 14, Township 12, Range 7, Indian Meridian, west of the Indian Meridian in Canadian County, Oklahoma.
Move to approve ordinance 9408.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nether.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black.
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer.
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes, motion passes. So, brings us to 17A, to conduct a public hearing regarding an appeal by Rick Pugh of the Administrative Code Hearing Officer's findings that a structure located at 2410 Townsend Drive is dilapidated public nuisance, should be removed in accordance with 246-1C31 of the El Reno City Code of Ordinances. I now declare public hearing open.
This property was originally noticed in December of 2024, and then renoticed again in February of 2025. The applicant, or the property owner, attended a few public hearings and then was working with one of the building inspectors outside of the hearings, so he didn't have to attend each one. Communication kind of dropped, as did the progress, so we decided to renotice again so we can get him back on a schedule to communicate progress and expectations. After two subsequent meetings, the property owner was not in attendance, and so we had to make the recommendation to proceed with demolition as significant progress and communication hadn't been made. I'll note one of the major concerns is the electrical hazards, specifically the panel. It's a stab block system, and they're a known fire hazard, and that's one of the main things that really needs to be brought up into compliance. A lot of electricians won't touch those. And so our recommendation and that requirement will be to get that replaced in any electrical work that comes with it. So that's what I have. And he filed a timely appeal.
Any other questions? Mr. Pugh, would you like to talk to us? It's your you own the property. Please come to the podium and And state your name for the record.
Rick Pugh, I'm the owner of 2410 Townsend Drive. It's a rental property. The main reason this has all happened is we were in the process of repairing, doing some repairs, and a squatter moved in on us, and I couldn't get him out. Anyway, one thing led to another, and police got involved, and they kicked me out. But I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but I had to leave the premises, and the squatter got to stay at my house. And, you know, anyway, that's a long story. Finally, the only way I could get him out is to have the city condemn the house. And that's the only way I could get him out. So that's what we did.
Is the squatter still there now?
No.
Okay.
All good. But it's been vacant for a year, because I'm in the process of fixing it up. I already purchased the windows, and new central heat and air is in it. It's just got to be wired up, because we do have to change the breaker box. It's no gas, it's all electric, the heat, and the breaker box, when held, it's got to be a bigger one to supply the more amperage and different breakers. So the permits should already be pulled. Bobby Eagle Nest is, he's going to be the electrician pulling the permits, so.
Okay. And he's a licensed electrician? I
Yes.
guess. Okay.
Anyway, just don't tear it down. I'm still working on it.
What work has been done since March?
Probably not a whole lot, other than we're just kind of maintaining the yard and the rubbish. Some of the inside's been worked on, but our plans are new windows, and the windows are already purchased. They're in a shed stored, but we're replacing all the windows and new siding. We're going to kind of remodel it pretty quick. Within the next 2 months, it'll be done. That's our plan. I'm a busy guy, though.
Ms. Ritchie, have any permits been pulled? Not as of right now. I would recommend, before Thanksgiving, to have them pull a remodel permit, so then we can, check everything, and everything be pulled under that. And we can, put a time limit on that remodel permit, maybe at 3 months, evaluate it, or whatever you all think is appropriate.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I declare the public hearing closed. Brings us to 17B, discussion, consideration, action on and/or possible amendments regarding Resolution 26-052, Resolution City Council of the City of El Reno, Oklahoma, affirming a finding of a dilapidated structure at 2410 Townsend Drive, authorizing measures necessary demolition or remove such structure, or authorize bringing of any action district court necessary to abate such public nuisance, allow mayor sign documents associated.
I like Emily's idea. I mean, just from what I've heard, sounds like whatever reason we're delayed, but there has been significant work done or planned to be done. So 3 months, 3 more months on this. If that's what happens and we pull the remodel permit and we establish a timeline, that gives us an idea or some kind of leverage to make sure that it's being worked on, that it's being done, seems to fall in line. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either, as long as we've got a good deadline.
As long as we got a deadline, it's not indefinite.
It's been a year and a half.
I agree. Yeah, so that puts a deadline on it. I mean, we could put a deadline on it as 3 months, 90 days. I don't know what that looks like in a motion.
Procedurally, this is up on an appeal, So you would need to grant the appeal and provide for an additional 90 days to pull a remodel permit and come into compliance with the code. And I think, at least for purposes of the code enforcement hearings, it would be helpful if the motion also directed whether the action needs to come back to this body and
Back to
90
code
day mark,
enforcement.
or if you want code enforcement hearing officer to make the determination of whether compliance has
Yeah.
been appropriate.
I agree.
So those are your options.
Immediately, so they
Yeah.
got the 90 days from there, not 90 days to pull.
Right. Yeah, so the motion, I would say that we grant the appeal and then has a week to pull the remodel permits, and from that time that we allow 90 days to comply with the remodel and the continued restoration of 2410 Townsend. Is that the address? 2410 Townsend Drive. And then from that point, it goes back to code enforcement for for determination as to the worthiness of the structure. I want to say it again. Repeat after me.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nethery? Yes. Councilwoman Brothers? Yes. Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes, motion passes. Brings us to item 18, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding demolition of a structure located at 619 West Clark Street. Mr. Childs?
How's everybody today?
Good.
Tell us what's going on.
Okay, I was planning on selling my home. I mean, I got really basically no choice at some points. But I had an electrician come out, I had a plumber come out, I done did plumbing work, I've been doing work in the house still. I gotta get my electrician back out and then pull permits, I guess, and have my air lines aired up. That's the only thing I gotta do is get the plumbing aired up. Is that what they do? They put an air tester on the meter and whatever that thing is? Yeah, pressure test or whatever for the gas. I gotta get that tested up, and the electrical box needed upgraded. So I'm supposed to be pulling permits sometime soon for that.
I know last month we left and you're going to have an inspection.
Yeah.
Had an inspection.
Yeah, they
And
came out.
I read the inspection report and all
Yeah,
that.
they came out.
And there was, a few items cited in there for repair, different
Yeah.
things, stuff, so. Are you wanting to sell the property now? I mean, I was told that, or you want to work on it, or it's listed? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I show Matt this paper. Can I show you this paper right here?
Sure.
Could you tell me who that is right there in that truck? Don't know who that guy is? He states he works for the city. That's the guy that removed everything up off my premises right there. I need to know his full name. He says he's working for y'all guys. He sat out and watched me for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. This is what he did on my property.
That's not an employee of the city, no.
He said he worked for y'all.
Be a contractor, but,
Well, I'm stating what he tells me when I caught the police on this guy before, and they said they was gonna have him, where he couldn't come on my premises, but before that even came to that, he was already on my property when I had bonded, he was the one who was removing my property too. But that's what he do. He got a Jeep too, and he come by my house and stalk me all the time.
When was this photograph taken?
That's what's taken on the 5th.
Well, I think where we were at from last month, we were to have inspection and then determine whether the council wanted to have more time, allow more time to improve the property, come up with a plan. That's the way I remember everything from our last meeting. And do you have contractors' plan lined up ready to?
Yeah, I got contractors lined up. I got a company that's gonna come and take care of that, God's willing.
I mean, I assume you would need to, pull a remodel permit just like,
Sure. Yes, sir.
that way we can monitor progress and all that and stuff.
So, Mr. Childs, your plan is to continue to fix it up and then sell it?
Yes, sir.
And so it's listed for sale now. I don't know, I'm not sure how that works, even if you're able to sell it. If somebody came and offered, I don't know if that's even a possibility, because it's kind of caught up in this.
Yeah, because y'all is caught up with y'all, it makes it hard for me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, because, on top of that, I'm ran down through it on each angle. A lot of things that's untrue about me, was published on my house and everything.
Actually, that's not us. We're not publishing anything on you. That's not,
Okay.
we're
I
simply
understand.
trying to.
I understand. Hey, let me talk.
We're trying to just understand what the plan is here, right?
Well,
Because-
I'm trying to get
because-
a plan too, and I can't understand because most things y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know who this guy is who say he worked for y'all, but he coming and robbing me.
But
That is
anybody,
crazy.
but anybody could say they work for the city. That's,
Wow.
I mean, anybody can say anything. That we can't control what people would say. Just because they say that they work for the city doesn't mean that the city has sent somebody out there clandestinely. That's a wild accusation. So if somebody comes by and robs you, that's between you and the police. That's right. I mean, that's not, the city manager didn't send somebody out there to rob you and then say.
Y'all had him out on my property.
What we're trying to decide, Askey, is simply, we wanted a plan, right? We needed a plan. We've had an inspection. They found some things. It sounds like you're trying to work on it, but in the meantime, you've gone and listed it for sale. Now, if somebody comes and makes you an offer, how does that even work?
So a couple things procedurally to be aware of. The resolution that was passed authorizing city staff to demolish the property is still technically in place. So it would be my recommendation that whatever you all decide to do is we make some kind of a motion recognizing whether that resolution is going to continue in force or if it's going to be stayed. The process is that when Tim issued the administrative hearing order, the demolition lien was at that point filed on the property. So if you sell the property and it goes through a title company, not a quitclaim deed that you go to the courthouse and file, if it runs through title work, then that lien will be flagged in any title opinion that comes back or title report. And so the seller is then, the buyer is then put on notice that it is under a demolition order from the city. So that's technically how that would work. However, unless and until this body stays the resolution or does something different, it's a buyer beware type situation because that order is still in place.
Well, so Emily, have you guys been notified of permits being pulled or any work being done?
I've had
So the work that needs to be done, when was the inspection done?
14th.
And you've got people lined up to do work,
Yes, I do.
right? But they've not inquired about even pulling permits yet.
They're going to. I'm just waiting on some funding to come in, some more money, because I'm not rich by any means necessary. But as soon as the money, I should have it in any day, per se. I'm waiting on some funds to hit the bank. As soon as it hit the bank, it'll be done.
So,
8,000, somewhere around there.
Or plumbing,
Electrical.
plumbing bid.
It was 150. It was combined. One of the companies was combined that I called. One of them was together, and then the other one was separate than that.
You picked one of them to actually do the work?
Yes, I did pick one of them.
Okay, what was the bid for that one?
8,000.
Electrical or for both?
Both.
and any day means what?
Today, like tomorrow.
No later than what? Tomorrow or no later than?
I'm waiting on some tax money to come in. You know, I don't work for the government. I can't make the government overcome my funding. You know, it's like I'm telling y'all everything y'all need to know, but you know the questions I ask, I get nonchalant. Y'all, man, it's crazy.
Ask you if, I feel like we have tried very hard to work with you.
You tried to throw a rope at me. That's what you tried to do. I felt that.
Despite the allegations and
Yeah,
despite the
man, come on
animosity,
with that.
we continue to let this linger on. This was scheduled for demolition when, Tim?
It was December?
It was in January.
So here we are 5 months later, and we're still trying to work with you. So a little bit of appreciation would go a long ways. We're trying, but we can't get vague answers at this point. We can't get maybe tomorrow, maybe someday, right?
I'm 100% getting it done. It's just that I can't say the date because when I call the IRS, they don't give you no date. Have you ever heard them on the phone? People call them? Anybody up in there?
Unfortunately, yes.
So what do you want me to tell you?
So far, you're telling me you're answering all my questions, right? So
I am. I'm trying to, at my best ability.
Listen, don't get defensive.
I'm not getting
we're just having a
defensive, but it's hard when
conversation.
you're just throwing ropes.
We're trying to throw a lifeline.
Man, I don't need your, man, that's crazy. I feel it. Okay.
You guys have all these budgets for all your projects that you're doing, but you guys say that they're here for the people. You're gonna throw an 8-year-old couple out on the streets that have a dilapidated home and not help them with the funding that you have? If they're poor, you're just gonna throw them out? That's what I have to ask. If it was your grandparents or anyone been thrown out on the street because they can't fix stuff? Not everyone's born with a silver spoon up their butt.
Is there, Mr. Childs, are there people living at the property currently?
No, I attend to my property 24/7 because I don't want to get any more of my stuff taken.
Yeah.
All of my stuff has been robbed. I've been this, been that, and I'm barely keeping my properties cut
But
because
you've got it secured, correct? Locked? I mean,
yeah, it's locked. Yeah.
okay. Mayor, I don't have any more questions. Don't know that I have any more ideas either.
I move to stand on Resolution 26039 with two addendums, one noting a change of ownership effective March 3rd to Mr. Childs, and the second one noting that this matter has been on City Council's agenda on March 25th. Well, it wasn't on the agenda, but Mr. Childs was here March 25th. It was on the agenda April 14th and on the agenda again tonight.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
No.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Here's item 19. Discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding ordinance number 9409, ordinance amending code ordinances of El Reno, Oklahoma, Code Chapter 334, establishing rates for utility services, amending Section 17 for water, Section 41 for sewage, amending and repealing conflicting sections, providing for severability, and declaring an emergency.
Cleanup of an existing ordinance that we have on the books for, it relates to adjustment of water rates based on CPI, so it cleans up and modernizes that language, and then it adds language on private fire line charges on commercial applications, commercial and industrial applications. Tim, do you have anything to add to that?
And then also as part of the cleanup, we're cleaning up how we do the winter period averaging for sewer rates right there, bring it in line with actual practice.
Okay. Any questions?
I had a question about those meters and about those, how that's rated. And Chief, I don't know if you could speak to it. Those commercial meters on people that have to be sprinkled, are they tested, mandated tested annually, anytime? So it has to be inspected yearly. Everybody that's got a commercial meter and sprinkled. What's the approximate life cycle of one of those meters? Yeah.
They can check for rust and stuff too, as part of the inspection. That's a 5-year thing.
5 years? So the whole system itself, not just the... Yeah. How many in town approximately? Is it in the hundreds? Is it?
No, it's probably going to be, about 50-ish or so.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Any newer, I know we went through that with the airport and, certain sizes that have to have it and not have it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 9409.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 9409. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
Move to declare ordinance 9409.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to declare
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Sorry.
an emergency. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilman Brothers?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Item 20, discussion, consideration, action, and or possible amendments regarding ordinance 9410, an ordinance amending code of ordinances, El Reno, Oklahoma. Code Chapter 334, Section 78, amending permit requirements and regulations for solid waste, amending and repealing conflicting sections, providing for severability, and declaring an emergency.
So this pertains to our commercial trash haulers that we have in town. There are many different companies, and currently in the books, every commercial dumpster, there's a $7 fee associated with that comes to the city of El Reno. With all of these services, you have large, heavy trucks driving on the streets, and so that's the reason why we have a fee associated with that to help pay for the infrastructure that they're utilizing. That hasn't been touched. That fee has not been touched in many years, and so this is a proposal to raise it from $7 to $12 per can. It also impacts the annual facility fee, going from $500 annually to $1,000, and that'd be per company. Did I miss anything, Tim?
Very simple. Just paragraph D is the only thing that's changing, changes those two rates.
Some of it's been on the books, but it's updating it.
Any discussion?
Move to approve ordinance 9410.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 9410. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nether.
Yes.
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 Move to declare ordinance 9410 an emergency.
Motion made and seconded to declare 9410 an emergency. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Black?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers?
Yes.
Nethery? Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Item 21, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendment regarding ordinance 9411, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of El Reno, Oklahoma, amending the code chapter 135, adding to Article 4 to establish requirements for spay neutering, amending violations, penalties regarding spay and neutering, providing for repeal or providing for severability, declaring an emergency.
So this is an item that brought to our attention that our animal control officers, or animal control department, does an amazing job with what they do. They really do a lot with a little. Their adoption rate is amazing, but they need some help. So this is an ordinance that will help them out. We have folks that will surrender full litters of dogs or kittens to our animal shelter. That puts a lot of pressure on our services that we provide. And so what this does is for those folks that will surrender a whole litter or drop off a litter, or maybe they get caught dumping a litter of animals, they will have a spay or neuter requirement on the animals that they have in the house. So Amy, I worked on this with you. Would you like to share any?
Yeah, and I will say that this proposed ordinance is more restrictive than what most communities have. And these spay and neuter ordinances go back to the 90s, Tulsa being the most prominent communities, but most of them do not limit to if there's a surrender or an abandonment. It's all pets, unless you meet one of the exceptions, canine officers, dog, that sort of thing, are subject to a spay and neuter. So ours is starting off restrictive, but as Mr. Sandage indicated, giving the animal control officers a little bit of teeth. There are families out there that surrender a litter, and then there's another litter, and then another litter, and they can't do anything. It's not animal neglect. It just is a lot of resources on one family. And so should that happen and you cannot find rehome puppies or kittens appropriately, then you will need to spay and neuter so that this is not a repeat problem.
If we require they spay and neuter, are we able to cover the cost or hook them up with a free clinic?
We can connect them with free and reduced costs. We have great relationships with Nexus and with another organization, whose name I forget. But yes, and we put it in here that the animal can stay with the owner while we're getting them taken care of. But we can assist with that.
I think that's assuming there's no other dog at large type issues.
Right.
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 Which they might have, a lot of times these get ticketed all in conjunction with one another. So assuming there's no other issues with the animal roaming or anything like that, then yes, that's the way I read it.
Right, correct.
Amy, I have a concern that it's going to force people away from showing up with their litter. Instead, they'll be dumped in the ditch and they'll just quit coming.
So what other towns and studies that have this have found is that there is a slight uptick early, And that's why we put in there some language that if we can connect it back, I mean, if you call and say, I have 12 chocolate labs, puppies, and then 2 days later, they find 12 chocolate lab puppies, they, can connect it back. But the studies show that actually over time, the dumping diminishes. And so we will expect a slight increase. No guarantee we will follow the trends of other communities, but that's what they see.
So the idea then is that they surrender the 12 chocolate labs, and now you have to get mom spayed. And if you have dad, you have to present him too, or, right?
Right.
That's, so present your adult animals. We'll take the puppies.
We'll take the puppies, we will get them to a rescue, find homes, what our shelter has been great at doing, to get that 92% adoption rate.
And not a fine at this point.
Not a fine if they comply. If there's another litter, because you did not comply, then a fine kicks in. And then at that point, you can take it up with Judge King. With Judge King, and talk about why you should keep having animals you can't take care of.
I might add, I mean, this is really good. We have folks who have puppets. That's literally what it is. They can't get rid of them, they can't sell them, what have you, and they wind up calling us and we go out and pick them up. And we do have those that get dumped. I mean, we have to the point they get dumped at the shelter, on the shelter doors. So this will help us, we could actually be able to address that as well.
Because you kind of know who those people are.
Not, it's repeated offenders.
Yeah.
Unless we have outside cities and we have had that, it's like,
Sure.
they're telling their people, go to El Reno, they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
That kind of will address some of this as well.
And that's what I was going to touch on. The officers will tell you, somebody will call and say, I have a, I keep thinking chocolate lab, I don't know why, but I have a beagle, that I can't take care of, I need to bring him to you, where do you live in Purcell. Well, we can't take in a Purcell animal. And then 2 days later, here's a beagle, where do you live? El Reno, and so I do think that even the provision about if we can connect it back to you, a lot of people kind of tell on themselves, frankly. And I think that we will get some because they have reported that they need to get rid of these animals, and then the animals are found.
People within town that help us, fosters, they couldn't do what they do without all the fosters and stuff that help us, people in El Reno. But we had, even today, a lady called and wanted to bring us a dog out past him, because they were looking over the city. Nobody would take him, so we take him. And we allow that, but we know what the dog is now, what it looks like. That's one thing that Liz is really good about, is giving a description of it and whatever. So that just gives us a little bit more teeth. That's where we're really kind of convinced, I'm saying, to go that direction. The problem we have, people tell me their dogs are being a puppy.
And I mean, honestly, I want council to consider, and it's not on for today and not this month, maybe not even this year, but a full spay neuter statute that other communities have. It would help our officers a great deal. But today we are just looking at addressing the problem of these repeat offenders.
Bob Barker's been trying to solve this problem for years.
Well, he has. He has. And this is also part of why we're looking at expanding the shelter and including a surgery room so we can have vet students help with spay and neuters, and so that we can have a small dog area and we can better keep, and our officers won't feel so pressured to get those small dogs to a rescue. So there's no place for them. And so that's why it's so important, and it's part of our budget, despite the other constraints. Support the great work they're doing out there.
All over states, all over California, Colorado.
Colorado has a statewide spay neuter, and that's why so many of our animals get flown out there for adoption. They don't have shelters full of animals because they have a statewide spay neuter law. Oklahoma says that city by city, other than any animal adopted from a shelter must be spayed or neutered. That's the only one that's statewide. So that's why we have so many now Plains, but going to Colorado, they have a statewide law.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 9411.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 9411. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers? Yes. Vice Mayor Block?
Yes.
Councilman Schaefer?
Yes.
Mayor Jensen?
Yes.
Move to declare ordinance 9411 an emergency.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to declare 9411 an emergency. Roll call starting with Dr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Block?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brothers? Yes. Councilwoman Nethery? Yes. Mayor Jensen?
Yes. Item 22, presentation by the El Reno Library Board in support of the El Reno Carnegie Library.
Hi, I'm Holly Mace. I am a lifelong resident of El Reno. I serve on the library board. I'm an avid reader and patron of the library and its programs, and perhaps most importantly, the mother of 3 young readers and active participants in the library's programs as well. I come behalf on the board today. I have a letter that I'm going to give you all and just we're just wanting to express our concern regarding the hiring freeze and the inability to hire a children's librarian after losing ours a couple months ago. So I just want to read the letter. Dear Mayor and members of the City Council, on behalf of the El Reno Carnegie Library Board, we are writing to express our concern regarding the decision to leave the children's librarian position unfilled at this time. We recognize and respect the city's responsibility to manage personnel decisions within the constraints of the municipal budget. We also appreciate the ongoing support the city has provided the library system and its role in serving the El Reno community. However, the board is concerned about the impact this vacancy is having and will continue to have on library services that directly support our children, families, and early literacy development in our community. The position has historically played a central role in planning and delivering children's programming, supporting early literacy initiatives and school readiness, coordinating outreach with local schools and educators, providing a safe and structured environment for youth engagement in the library, and assisting families in accessing age-appropriate educational resources. Children's services are not a small portion of the library's operations. They represent a substantial share of the overall usage and community engagement. So a few stats. Children's programs account for approximately 80% of all annual programs. Children's titles represent roughly 46% of monthly materials selected by staff. The children's floor accounts for approximately 39% of total library visits. Children's materials make up roughly 63% of overall circulation, and families represent approximately 76% of summer program attendees. Without a dedicated professional in this role, we are concerned about a few things: reduced availability and consistency for ongoing programs such as story time, school-age children programs such as Art Lab after school, coordinating programs with local partners such as the cooking classes, the hands-on workshops that they do, and other similar activities, and all the themed activities within the children's area that our library has done such a fantastic job with lately. We're also concerned about increased strain on the existing staff, diminished capacity for outreach to schools and other early literacy initiatives, and potential decline in engagement among one of the library's largest user groups. So we're also concerned about broader operational and financial consequences with continued understaffing. If the library is unable to meet its maintenance of effort, it risks losing state funding from the Oklahoma Department of Libraries. This includes approximately $13,000 annually, as well as access to grants and other services that the state provides. In addition, staffing shortages may make it increasingly difficult to maintain the public service hours that are required by Oklahoma statute based on community population size, and could create further challenges for compliance and continued service to residents. We are particularly concerned about long-term implications for early literacy, youth engagement, and the sustainability of library operations if this gap in services continues. We respectfully request that the city reconsider this decision as it currently stands in the proposed 26-27 budget and evaluate the importance of restoring this position as part of its final budget deliberations. We understand that the city has now plans to hire a seasonal position to help the library throughout the summer. With summer reading. We ask that hiring a full-time children's librarian is placed as a high priority if and when the city is able to remove that hiring freeze. If that's not possible within the next year, then we would ask that that seasonal position recur in the coming years as well. So the library board remains committed to working collaboratively with the city to identify a sustainable path forward that balances fiscal responsibility with continued delivery of high-quality library services. We believe that strong library programming for children is an investment in the long-term educational and social health of El Reno community. We appreciate your time and consideration and would welcome the opportunity to discuss this matter further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brings us to item 23, discussion consideration possible action regarding resolution number 26-053, a resolution to nominate a candidate to fill an open position on the Board of Trustees of the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund, representing District 6 for a 5-year term beginning October 1st, 2026 through October 1st, 2031.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to nominate Cammie Brookshire. Roll call starting with Councilwoman Nethery.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 24, discussion, consideration, action, and/or possible amendments regarding resolution number 26-054, resolution of support for nomination to the District 8 seat on the Board of Directors of the Oklahoma Municipal League.
The District 8 seat is open and they're accepting nominations for the seat. It's Central Oklahoma, basically. I think that from a staff standpoint, we have pretty good coverage and a lot of statewide boards. CMAO, Tim's on the 811 board, Lindsay's on a slew of boards. And then we just nominated Cammie to be on OKMRF. This is, it's eligible for mayor and council members as well. So I don't know if there is anybody on the council that would be interested in throwing their name in the hat. I think what the sequence of events will be, there'll be nominations, probably several from Central Oklahoma, and then it'll come back for a vote to all of the cities. So this is just the nominating stage of throwing a name in the hat. So.
Have you heard anyone that's wanting to serve?
Not that I know of.
And the nominations are open till Monday, June 1st. So.
And you don't have to nominate anybody. Just it's available if interested.
Unless somebody here wants to serve, I say take no action. No, but thank you.
We were all looking at you, Amy. I don't know if you,
Pointed.
I don't know if you felt it.
Raised his eyebrows.
So if you say no action, then I would second that.
So,
You have to have a motion if there is.
yeah,
Take some-
there's
take
no action. Okay. Brings us to reports, mayor's report. Well, weather at Burger Day was, you couldn't ask for better weather. I know the crowd at noon was, I've never seen more people in downtown in a long time. Car show was big. I just want to thank everybody that helped participate in that and serve, help the Historic Downtown Foundation. Help with that. It's an extremely important event for El Reno. And it kicks off our summer, tour basically of events with Small Town Weekend coming up here in a few weeks. And it was just a great day. I had fun. I didn't have to sit in a dunk tank. this year. I looked for it, but I guess I didn't look hard enough because I didn't find it. So people said that they would help me find it next year. So we'll see, maybe next year. I know the budget, our sales tax is flat and all that, and it's nobody likes to have freezes, different things. I wish sales tax was better, and I hope and pray that it gets better, and it can. I mean, just a slight uptick in our sales tax, things locally change our budget numbers pretty drastically. Have we faced a lot tougher budgets than this? Absolutely. I mean, if you look back at through COVID years and all that, I mean, we were running $4.5 million deficit for a year, and then the next year, and then things, turned around. You look at our 5-year average of last 5 years in income. Income is slowly kind of inching up, but it's not as fast as, unfortunately, as our inflation and our cost and things have gone up. But that can change. El Reno's been tied heavily to oil field and different things. I mean, we've diversified a lot of things, but we're still tied to that. And, you would think as with oil prices and different things up, there would be more drilling, but drilling has been pretty slow. We've been fortunate in Southwest Canadian County out around the airport and on different properties that the city of El Reno has royalty in to be drilling. But I know you get to western Oklahoma, a lot of these areas that typically have a lot of drilling, it's been pretty flat. Natural gas is very flat. Oil is high, bounce around. Some of it's activity in the Middle East, but so I don't know. But we're all going to do the best we can to provide the services to the community that need to be provided. I mean, people have called me wondering about summer reading program and all that, and I said, absolutely, we're going to provide it. We'll find a way to provide it. I know, library board and all that is concerned about the children's librarian, but you look at staff at the library, pre-COVID, we've got, as much staff on our pre-COVID as we did. So we'll get the kids read too, whether, I've been up there before and read to the, kids. If one of us from the council once a month, once a week, whatever, needs to step up there and read to the kids, I mean, I challenge us all to do that. I mean, it's a fun activity. I did that a year or two ago, and it was fun. So I know you look at, our grass mowing, you look at our Parks Department, street departments, they're taking on a lot of mowing. Airport's taking on a lot of mowing. They're doing excellent jobs, mowing our right-of-ways, cleaning them up, and it's just, budgets are tight, and whether it's city budget, family budgets, whatever, it's just, tight time. You look at the agriculture industry, wheat was up 45 cents today. There is not going to be a wheat crop in not just western Oklahoma. We're blessed right here in Canadian County. There'll be some fields that are decent. Most of them are not going to be, won't even be county average, but you look at western Oklahoma, western Kansas, you've got wheat over $7 a bushel. Well, there's a reason there's not going to be any of it, and it's going to get higher. Now, I'm not telling you to go long in the futures market, so trading futures at your own risk. But anyway, it's higher today. So great burger day, I thought, and that's all I've got. Anybody else?
I echo the great burger day. The fire department, police department, public works, we could not have done it without you. Steve, I want to thank yourself. Thank you from the Downtown El Reno Foundation. You worked hard on the big burger and getting us some beef, and we appreciate it. So
thank you. David?
You kind of hit it, but Small Town Weekend is coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's on Route 66, so it should be a bigger event, and I think you guys have done a good job with getting it planned for this year.
Yep. I wanted to say thank you publicly. The library board A lot of times, people volunteer for those jobs and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And so when you guys show up and work hard and you've put this effort into it and you're deeply concerned about it, it means something. And obviously it means a lot to me personally and my family, because we've been big users of the library through the years. And I agree. I echo your sentiment, Steve. You know, if we need to pitch in or however we need to do that, it is a concern, and we are concerned along with you, and we want to see it succeed, and we certainly don't want to see it take a step back. It's a beautiful library. It's a beautiful building. It's a great place, and we've spent money to make it better, and you know, it's something that we want to showcase and show off, and for now and for future generations. So thank you for coming and sharing today and showing that you care about that. That's a benefit. It's another benefit. It's another feather in our cap as a community.
So, as of right now, we have trail construction underway at Sunset Trail, Lake El Reno. That's, to remind everybody, that's part of a grant program through the Recreational Trails Program. We received $300,000 to extend that trail. On the Recreation Authority agenda tonight, there was the approval of the grant agreement for the next phase. So that'll be phase 2 is under construction. Phase 3, the grant agreement's been approved. It's for another $300,000 to continue extending that trail around the lake. So we're trying to do a lot with a little as far as leveraging every dollar that we have. You know, dollars are scarce, so we've got to use what we have to leverage to gain other dollars. So that's 80/20 grant program. Those are the kinds of things that we need to continue to pursue, and we've been successful at doing them. So
One
hats
more
off to
phase
staff.
will be all the way, right? 4?
It's pretty close. Yeah. I think it depends on the inflation, right?
Fair.
So, how much does that concrete cost? So it has gone up since phase 1. So. That's all I have.
Okay. We already went over the sales tax numbers. On use tax, we brought in $314,066.80, which exceeds budget by almost $100,000 for use tax. So that is definitely some good news. In the hotel motel tax, we saw a rebound. We brought in $46,759.53, which exceeds our monthly budget target of by about $10,000.
We are up to 822 active service lines. We are starting to add some phone customers. We've had a few voice customers added, and we've had our first commercial customers coming online next week. We officially have a dedicated internet customer, which we're excited about that. And then the guys have worked hard in the last couple weeks installing nearly 20,000 feet of mainline fiber through Settlers Crossing, and then out here on Foreman. So we're just trying to get a bunch of mainline in. We'll start pulling access fiber here soon.
Total customers as of today?
822. So.
Soon to have 823 as soon as they get some equipment in for me. They're waiting on it. My house is kind of unique and has its challenges and stuff. So it's 100 years old this year. So anyway, all right.
It's adjourned.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Good job.
Thank you.